Oh no.
Have you taken a deep breath this morning yet, Paige? Good morning, by the way.
Good morning. Yeah, I've taken plenty of deep breaths. Have
Have
you?
you? I'm
Yeah,
trying to take a
yeah.
deep breath, but it's March. The madness is here. Where we have a few day break coming up, getting ready for the Sweet 16, and now I feel like I could take a deep breath. I can relax for a second, right?
Yeah, I mean, I fell asleep before the last game ended last night, and so then this morning I woke up and I was holding my breath, checked the game. It actually wasn't the result I wanted.
Mm.
But then after that, I took a deep breath and I was able to say, all right, I have a break from basketball, which actually makes me quite sad. Um, but maybe I can focus on my breathing,
Yeah, I
and
think
dial
every
in for next weekend.
Yes, I think everybody needs to focus on breathing. Deep
Mm.
breaths equals smart decisions, taking more or less on the correct players, copying the right people on Dabble. It all stems from just taking a deep breath and getting your research done for the Sweet 16 because we have a lot to break down this episode, and I guarantee what we have to say this episode will make you reconsider every Sweet 16 pick you have made or you will make very soon because numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie, and looks don't lie either. It's
Oh, but looks can be deceiving though. That's what they say.
but you can't catfish on the court, you know?
Catfish on the court. You're building something here. You can't
Yeah.
catfish on the court.
Mm-mm.
The ball doesn't lie.
Nope.
Neither neither do
Go again. Give
suits.
me another one.
No, that's it. I'm tapped out. Can't catfish on the court. That should be put on like an and one. Remember and one? They used to have these crazy shirts. Just really quick. They used to have these T-shirts that would
Oh,
be like, "You reach, I teach," or like, "You need to go to church
yes.
because I've been dominating you" on the back of your shirt. That that should say you can't catfish on the court. That should be a new and one T-shirt. And one, give us a call. Give us a call. You have our number.
Another, yeah, everyone has our number.
Everyone has her number. Give us a call. You can't catfish on the court. The ball doesn't lie. We're talking suits versus non-suits. It's a big debate in college basketball right now. Should the coaches wear suits? Should the coaches not wear suits? Well, we have the numbers to tell you what they should and should not be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to talk a little bit
Very.
St. John's basketball. They had a miracle layup win against Kansas. That game made me want to throw up, but we'll get to it. And we're going to talk refs, college basketball refs. If you're watching some of these games, you say, I think that's another missed call, or what the heck are they thinking? Just classic ref talk. And then we're just going to get into the tournament, see how we're doing, see how our final fours are shaping up, what's next in the Sweet 16, what do we got going on. It's a good episode. We're going to get a little crazy. We're talking March and we're talking madness. Let's get into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Suits versus non-suits, Paige. First of all, let don't get into the numbers yet because I know you have some statistics based on
Yeah.
tournament play and coaches and what they're wearing. But
Mm-hmm.
just your opinion. Do you want your coach wearing a suit or do you want your coach not wearing a suit?
I want my coach wearing a suit. Um,
Oh.
it looks so much better. It's just cool. Like it's cooler to wear a suit. I feel like we got into this era where it's like athleisure quarter zips, like that's cool, it's young, it's hip. No, it's not. Like give me the full, like I'm not a man, so I'm not quite sure what it is, but like a matching suit. Like is that
Yeah, just a
like
suit.
the full set? Honestly, I would want like one of those little like vests too. Like that would really round it out for me. Um but yeah, I want my coach in a suit. Like I like it when soccer coaches as well, when they're dressed up really nicely. I think that it's kind of a power move, you know? It looks better.
You want a three-piece suit? You want a three-piece suit?
Yes, I want a three-piece suit, look good, feel good, play good. I live by that motto myself. And I think once I read the numbers, it's something that everyone should live by.
Listen, I like the suit. I'm with you on the suit. Um, Coaches should wear suits in college basketball. Um, I'm saying it just because I know that the coaches who wear suits are psychopaths. And I want my head coach in every single sport to be a psychopath. I don't want them to be comfortable. I don't want them to be wearing, polos or quarter zips. I don't want them. They can't be comfortable. They have to be in a suit. They have to be sweating. They have to be a psychopath like Danny Hurley, suit guy, nutcase. Rick Pitino, suit guy, nutcase. This is why these guys are winning. This is why it's
Yeah.
happening because they're psychopaths. If a coach were to wear a three-piece suit, they should be arrested because they could possibly be a serial killer. I hate the three-piece suit idea from you.
Dude, I
It's
love it.
it's insane. Only an insane person would wear that, and they would have to be thrown in federal prison because coaches should not wear three-piece suits. Suit,
The
yes.
more
Three-piece suit, no.
No, someone give me a three-piece suit. The more comfortable you are being uncomfortable makes you crazier, makes you more insane. I think it's like it's being in it with your players in a way uh, that is just different, you know? Like the baseball coaches, they try to dress up as their players. I find that super strange. Not a fan of that. Um, I like the coaches to look nice, and if a coach had a three-piece suit and perhaps a monocle, I would be scared. I would be scared to step on the court across from them.
Nah, you're getting out of hand with the monocle. But also, what
Be
if
sick. Imagine a top hat,
imagine if basketball
a
coaches
fedora.
no. Football coaches can do fedoras. That's old school. Shout out George Hallish. Um, but um, what if basketball coaches wore basketball jerseys and shorts like baseball managers do? That would be
This is
hilarious. You'd have the oldest guys. You'd have just old guys in shorts and jerseys, no undershirts, just letting their skin fly out. Maybe they should wear jerseys.
this no, okay, this is what I mean is like the old baseball coaches, they look crazy. Like it's very weird and they wear the socks all the way up and it's I will never get over seeing that to be honest.
Well,
I
get
am
over it because that's tradition.
no. Yeah, I mean and okay, I'm not going to fight tradition because I'm fighting for tradition right now. Go back to the suits. Um and I'm going to fight for shorter shorts for the players. That's another thing that I'd like to throw out there.
Well, you are. I don't want to call you the P word, but you're a
It's just
pervert.
classic basketball.
Yeah.
It's classic basketball.
Okay.
Would you like to hear the stats on the coaches who wear suits versus the coaches who do not wear suits?
I would love to hear the stats, and I'm afraid they're going to make me reconsider all my picks that I have in the tournament, though.
You're going to be fine. We'll see. Okay. Out of the 64 teams that we started with, 46 coaches wore no suit. The suit is a dying breed. 15 coaches wore a suit and 3 coaches wore polos. This is a very big distinction between suit, non-suit, and polo here. And there's a heavy correlation to games won. Teams with no suits won 30 games and lost 36 games.
Okay.
Teams with suits won 13 games and lost 10. Teams that have polos for coaches, won 6 games and lost none. This is important. That is a 45% win rate for teams with no suits and a 56% win rate for teams with suits and 100% win rate for teams whose coaches wear polos. And out of the remaining teams, 5 teams coaches wear suits, 8 teams wear no suits, and 3 wear polos.
So no suits is basically quarter zips. Polos
Quarter
are
zips,
obviously
yeah.
polos. What are the 3 teams left that wear polos?
It is University of Houston, Nebraska, and Iowa State.
Okay.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
polos, I'm liking Nebraska. I'm liking Iowa State. Houston's playing U of I, Illinois. I'm not liking that because I do have Illinois going to the Final Four.
I'm going to say something that's going to help you out here. Some of these coaches have worn suits in the past. In this tournament so far, they haven't. I know the University of Illinois, he has been known to wear a suit with an orange tie.
Yeah, nice.
So he could possibly show up in a suit, and I think your percentage of win your your
Chance
chance
of
of winning
winning.
would go up if he showed up in a suit.
But we want him to show
For
up in
sure.
a polo. We want polos.
This is true. He does. I
100%
don't.
win percentage in polos for these
Yes.
coaches.
Yes.
How does this make you feel? How do these stats make you feel? Because I mean, we're getting into the nitty gritty. This is the Sweet 16, and we got. I mean, as you can
I
see
I
here,
mean,
Alabama versus Michigan, and then UConn versus Michigan State. These are probably 2 of the best games that are going to happen during the Sweet 16. And you got Alabama suited up, and you got UConn suited up. If numbers don't lie, you could be leaning to UConn and Alabama based on the psychopaths that wear suits during the games.
yes. And I actually personally didn't pick those in my bracket. I have the opposite. Um,
Me too.
would yep, would I have reconsidered that? Maybe, but I still kind of have hope that maybe these coaches will show up in suits. Maybe they'll show I that Michigan coach could wear a polo. He looks like a polo guy.
Yeah, but then the polos, that's even worse. Oh no, we can do that.
No, the
Yeah,
polo's good.
yeah.
The
The
polo's
polo's
good.
good. Polo's good. Polo's good
We
for
do
Michigan.
not want we do not want a quarter zip.
No.
If you're rooting for a team whose coach is wearing a quarter zip, I'm very sorry. You might lose. But I think another stat, I actually haven't looked into this, but this is just based off my own observation. When Patino wears his all white suit, 100% win rate, at least this season. So
Is that true, or do you just like it?
I might just like it, but I'm pretty sure he's only won in the white suit.
Okay.
He's won all games in the white suit.
Okay.
I might have made that up. Someone fact check that.
Yeah,
Or
we'll
don't.
fact check that.
Just believe it.
You will just believe it. But what else? Let me see. I'm just looking up pictures really quick. So we got. Are there any suits versus suits? So the Purdue Texas game, that's going to be a hard one where we have quarter zip versus quarter zip. That's a toss up all of a
Mhm.
sudden. All of a sudden, that's a
But
toss up.
you can't tell me that that game doesn't feel like quarter zip versus quarter zip.
It does.
Like Texas wasn't supposed to be there. Purdue is like, wait, I thought they were kind of a one and done team like a couple years ago. Like
Yeah.
this is just that's a quarter zip game.
Then we have Arkansas versus Arizona. Arkansas is a suit. That's John Calipari. That's a suit game versus a quarter zip game. I have Arizona winning it all, so that makes me nervous. Maybe Arizona's coach shows up in a polo, and maybe John Calipari actually wants to be casual and shows up in a quarter zip. Maybe things switch up, but the way it's been transpiring during the tournament, that makes me nervous already. Now the quarter zip versus the suit. I mean, is it not nerve-wracking enough that you have brackets? You have player projection picks that you make on Dabble, and now I got to worry about what the coaches are wearing. Is it not stressful? Is March Madness not stressful enough? But now I got to worry about what the coaches are wearing.
Honestly, this gives me less worry. I feel like I have another stat to go off of, you know?
I don't know. I think
I feel like I understand the game a little bit more.
I mean, I'm glad you feel that way. I'm glad you're confident. And I'm glad you really found those stats. I'm really, really glad you brought this to all of us because I think this is important, but I think it's going to stress a lot of people out.
Well, I mean, you can't do anything about it now.
Nope.
Your bracket's locked in, and that's okay.
But you know what's not locked in is your picks on Dabble. Because even if your bracket's busted and it sucks, just like you do and just like I do, you can still make picks on Dabble. And that's just based off game by game. And you can win.
Yeah.
And you can just
You
win.
can go suit by suit.
You go suit by suit. Speaking of
Yeah.
suits, let's talk about Mr. All White Undefeated, according to you,
I
and
think
that's
it's
Rick
true
Pitino and St. John's. St. John's came up with a miracle layup and at the buzzer to beat Kansas in the round of 32. Um, why do you think this is a miracle layup? You've been telling me about this all morning. You said, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes, that's what you said about St. John's.
because Dylan Darling, sweet, sweet Darling, didn't make a shot all game. He was scoreless. He was sucking the entire game. And I guess at the end of the game, he made the call. He said, "We're going to run this play and I'm scoring." The confidence, the confidence that you have to say I'm going to score after literally not scoring all game, after being the worst player on this court all game, and then going out, calling your own name and doing it and doing the thing, that's insane. That's once in a lifetime. That there's never been like a worst best stat, I think.
Yeah, I mean he was 1 for 5 field goals, 0 for 4 behind the arc, and had 4 assists and 1 rebound. Prior to the game-winning shot. And I always say shoot or shoot. So if you're a shooter, you just gotta keep shooting. Um, but 0 for 4 on 3-pointers, and then he probably didn't even take that was probably his first 2-point attempt all game. Um, luckily it was a layup. I would think if it was a jump shot, we'd be talking overtime, and who knows? This whole thing is a different conversation. Luckily he didn't shoot a 3-point shot. Luckily he had a layup attempt, and shout out him, and also shout out Rick Pitino. Talking about being a psycho, just this is why you roll with a guy in the suit, because Rick Pitino's a psycho. Dylan Darling was so pumped after the game, was saying, this was my first ever game winner in his college basketball career. And Rick Pitino just goes, "What have you done in your NBA career then?" And Dylan Darling is just like, "Dude, like I'm not in the NBA. I probably won't even make it to the NBA." And Rick Pitino
Yeah.
just humbles him. Slice of humble pie.
Well, I was on Rick Pitino's side. That's funny. The reporter was like, "Is this your first buzzer beater?" And he was like, "Yeah, in college." And it's like, where else would you have done it? You know? And he's like, "Middle school."
Yeah,
That's
middle
funny.
school. I've
Yeah,
I've
a
had a
middle
couple
school
buzzer
buzzer
beaters.
beater.
I've had a couple buzzer beaters.
No, and I love that. Yeah, you guys should keep those stats
Yeah,
forever.
you have to. Those are good moments. Those are
Hmm.
good memories. Um, but yeah, Rick Pitino, absolute psycho. Let me tell you something about
Oh,
St. John's though.
mm,
I can confidently say that St. John's might be the worst basketball team left in the Sweet 16 right now because of they put up Kansas and St. John's put together the worst basketball game I've ever seen in my entire life. It
okay.
was it was mind-blowingly bad. And that's not because I had certain things going on in the game. I'm not being salty of certain things that I had going on in the game. Did some picks miss? Yes, of course some picks missed, Paige. But they probably had I think each team had 4 backcourt violations because they couldn't catch the ball, they couldn't dribble the ball, they couldn't pass the ball. They were fumbling everywhere, falling over themselves. It was the worst game I've ever seen, and if St. John's continues to play like that, they're going to get blown out by Duke. And I don't want that to happen because I have St. John's in my Elite Eight. I have St. John's beating Duke. But this game against Kansas makes me think that they are the worst team in the Sweet 16
No,
right now.
they had a tough game. Okay. Kansas, great team as well. These are two really good teams who played really bad against each other. That's fine. It's not gonna happen every time. And I have seen actually so much bad basketball this March Madness that it just makes sense. The University of Virginia might be the worst team ever. I am petitioning for them to cut their program.
Okay.
That's how bad they are. It literally they I'm gonna stop talking about it. But this is March, this is ugly basketball and it's ugly wins and it's a buzzer beater layup and it's white suits and it's March.
That's it's I it I still think St. John's, if they even play remotely like they did, yes, it's March. Yes, there's ugly basketball. But if they play remotely as bad as they did, Duke might beat them by 15 points.
Duke almost lost to Siena.
That's the first
Who's
game jitter.
Siena?
It's the first game jitters.
Who? No, you don't get to have first game jitters when you're number one in the country playing Siena. Siena, that's a
It's
like
like a
a Sprite,
yeah, it's a pop.
right?
It's Sienna
That's like a
Mist.
Mountain Dew.
It's Sierra
Yeah, no.
Mist, not Sienna Mist. And actually, it's called
Yeah,
Starry
same
now.
thing. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
they should change their name to Sienna.
Ooh, Sienna Starry Mist.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Or the
Sienna
school should change their mascot
to Can of Pop.
to the Starry Mist.
Oh, the Starry Mist, Sienna Starry Mist. That's kind of
Yeah,
sick. Sienna, why
yeah.
don't you give us a call? You guys have our number.
You know where to find us.
Yeah, you know where to find us. We have ideas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my idea is that St. John's is going to get blown out by Duke and my bracket's going to get busted.
You gotta believe, dude. You gotta believe. I believe.
I watched them and I said, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. This is the worst basketball team I've ever seen in my entire life.
But you know what the best thing is? It's just a bunch of kids out there playing a bunch of other kids in different colored shirts.
Yeah,
It's an even playing field.
making
And
millions of
you know
dollars.
what? They're making millions of dollars. And you got one coach on your side who is gonna wear a sick suit. So, I mean, in the suit we trust.
In the suit we trust. There's no doubt about that. And let's just close this episode out. We have a lot to talk about still, but we're just going to close it out with a little bit of tourney talk because I just remembered. I said millions of dollars. I just remembered
Mm-hmm.
the NIL.
Yes.
The top 5 most expensive rosters in college basketball regarding NIL. Kentucky, $20 million they're paying their players. Kentucky is paying their players $20 million. They're gone. Round 32
To
exit.
lose. To lose. Imagine that.
Not good. Not good. And would you believe that the number 2 team with the highest NIL budget is BYU with $13 million, and they didn't even win a single game?
No. I didn't even. Who did they play? Who did they lose to? Oh, they lost to Texas.
They lost
Yeah.
to Texas.
That's embarrassing.
Hook 'em.
Right.
Actually, shout out to Duke. They're the 3rd highest paid team, only $12 million, and they're the number 1 team in the country, and they're in the Sweet 16.
Only.
So whoever's doing the NIL work at Duke, shout out. You need a raise because you're spending money correctly.
Those players' agents, you're not doing a good job. Those kids need to be paid more.
That's right. Figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it together.
Then we got, this is actually another surprising one. Arkansas is the 4th highest paid team according to NIL, and they're at $11.5 million, but also they're in the Sweet 16. They're playing good ball.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then Louisville, a crazy $10.5 million, round of 32 exit. That was a random top 5 like highest paid schools though.
That is very random, and I can't believe out of the top 5 highest paid schools, only 2 of them are still in the tournament. Listen, you can't catfish on the court.
You can't catfish on the court, and it's just like the question, like we clearly see how NIL is affecting college football. Like you just can't have mid-major schools play anyone in the SEC, play anyone in the Big Ten. You get blown out. Does it really affect basketball that much? I feel like with just the amount of players on the court, it's like no. Your highest paid player is probably injured. That's what I see from college basketball.
Yeah.
And then you have these teams that actually get to, develop together as a team in these mid-major schools. They're not transferring all over the place because there isn't a crazy amounts of money being thrown at them. And they're able to make little runs in the tournament still. And I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
actually
actually,
good because then,
yeah, no, it's
as like
great.
you said, they're the highest paid player could be injured, or they could just be taking it easy because they know they're going to the NBA next year. It's one and done in college. They don't have to wait 3 years like they have to do in football. So like the top players, they're getting paid. They're getting paid the top money, and they might not be trying their hardest. They might not be going 110% because they don't want to get injured because they know they're going to get drafted in 4 months. Um,
And that's an issue with basketball all around. NBA players aren't trying half the time either. What this is like a leisure sport all of a sudden.
it is a bit leisurely, isn't it?
Yeah. But I like I this is I mean I'm a huge college sports fan in general, but I like that college basketball still feels like anything is possible.
It does. It does. It is fun.
Yeah.
I do like it. I do like it. Um, how are your brackets doing?
Um, like not great points wise, but possible points wise, pretty good.
Oh, possible points. All that
And
matters
that's what matters.
is the possible points.
Yes. Yes. I think in the Sweet 16, I I have I have the possibility of everyone in my bracket moving on correctly except for the Iowa Nebraska game
Yeah.
because I had Florida.
Um, I had Vandy going to the Elite Eight, so that one kicked me in the butt a little bit. I had Vandy and Gonzaga going to the Elite Eight, so those are my two big ones. But I do have 13 out of the 16 Sweet 16 teams correct, which is good. As I said earlier, the um St. John's worries me now. I have them beating Duke. Um,
Me too.
but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident in my Final Four, which
Yeah,
is yeah,
wait,
go.
who's your Elite Eight? Tell me your Elite Eight.
Um, well, it was supposed to be it's St. John's, Michigan State, Illinois, Vandy, Arizona, Gonzaga, and then Michigan, Iowa State. So Vandy and Gonzaga screwed it
Oh,
up.
oh, oh, okay. Yeah.
Why? Who do you have?
Um, I had Purdue over Gonzaga, so that one doesn't matter. Um, and then I had Florida over Vandy, but like those both kind of like cancel each other out,
Hmm?
you know?
Yeah, whatever you say. Whatever you
Because I had
say.
Florida winning, I had Florida moving on. Um, but yeah, my Final Four is all still possible.
Yeah,
So,
good. That's good. And speaking of Final Fours, we put in the Dabble app, you could vote who has the better Final Four, and 54% of the dabblers think you do. So why don't you remind the people what your Final Four is, and let me try to sell myself to the non-voters of me.
all right. I have the St. John's Giannis.
I mean, that's
Uh, you do you not have that too?
no. I have them losing in the Elite Eight, but they're the worst basketball
All
team in the
right.
Sweet 16 right now, so that's fine.
Well, they have the best looking coach. So, and then the University of Houston, Arizona, and Michigan.
All right. So we have a pretty dip. I mean, I have Arizona, I have Michigan. I think those are probably the two best teams in the tournament. That seems to be how it's looking. Their games weren't close. Utah State made a run at the end, but come on now. And then, I mean, Michigan's been just absolutely dominating, but they played Howard and St. Louis, so like, I mean, they have a real test with Alabama. Um,
Alabama, yeah.
but then I have Illinois and Michigan State in my Final Four, which I love. I love Illinois. Illinois might win it all.
After watching Illinois, I like Illinois.
I've been telling you.
But I think they choke here. I think they choke to
Oh,
Houston.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. Um,
Well, good thing you didn't take them then.
I did take
You know
Illinois.
that Houston wears the polo,
I know.
right?
I know. I know. I know. I know. Trust me, I know. What do you think about Florida? That was a big loss. Did you have Florida moving on?
I had Florida losing in the Elite Eight.
Okay, so you had them moving on to you had
Yeah.
them winning this next round and then going to the Elite Eight. Which
Yeah.
is I'm glad you had them.
This,
I'm glad you had them going that far because I want to know is this just me or do other people think like this when it comes to their brackets and their pools? For
yes.
example, Florida versus Iowa. I had Florida winning, but I had Florida losing the next round anyways. So I was
Hmm.
rooting for Iowa to win because I know more members of my pool had them moving on further than I do. So I'm going to let you have the floor here because you made up this term and I love this term. But like, when do you start sacrificing losses so you can feel good about yourself further into the bracket?
This is the concept of being wronger for longer. For example, I had I had Duke losing. I have Duke losing in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
I would have been totally fine if they lost game one because I know everybody took them to the championship. I would rather be I would rather be wrong. I need everybody else to be wronger for longer than I am wrong. I know I'm not going to pick everything correctly. I just need more people to pick worse than I do.
Yes. I love
And
that.
I'm
I
willing to
love
sacrifice. I'm willing to sacrifice all of my first round
that's
if for you know.
yes, wronger for longer. You want others to be wronger for longer. I was really willing to sacrifice Duke to the Sweet 16 easily. Again,
Yeah,
if they lost to Siena or if they lost, I can't remember who their second game was against. Whatever. But yes,
TCU. Yeah,
TCU. So yeah, I would have
yeah,
sacrificed the first round Duke loss and my Sweet 16 pick for Duke to lose because 90% of my pool has Duke winning it all. So it's all
yes,
about letting your opponents be wronger for longer. I love it. I sacrificed Florida against Iowa yet last night. And I was so happy about it. I said, there's no problem with this. There's no
yeah.
problem with this at all. I got four other guys who have Florida in their final four. Get them out. They're done.
And because it means you're eventually right, and you get to be the person that says, "Oh, I actually didn't take Duke that far," and then it kind of becomes a win, even though maybe you picked two games wrong. You're now right. All of a sudden, you were a loser, loser, loser. Your bracket's back.
Yes, it's
You
so
thought
good.
you busted, and then it's back again, and you can become a winner, and you get to tell all your friends, "Yeah, actually, I never believed in them. I didn't have them going that far.
Yeah.
I saw the future, and I knew that." Even though you do have to eat the loss for a day.
Yeah. I'm glad that we both are on the wronger for longer
Possible
train.
points.
Yes, it's all about possible points. Wronger for longer. Let the other pool opponents be wronger for longer. I
Yes.
I wish I knew this as I was filling out this bracket. Next year
Yeah,
I'm going full wronger for longer mode.
that means you're taking upsets?
I I'll worry about next year. Let's not
No,
talk about
no, no. The strategy is don't take the upsets first round, take them like third.
Yes, that's the strategy. Yeah. I actually like this. This is
Just
we're cooking right now.
yeah,
The wronger for longer
something.
strategy. It plays out every year. Nice. This is
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, yeah. Because if you can just pick the team that everyone else is taking to win it all, yeah, just look at the most picked team and then get them out in the Sweet 16, and you'll just win by default.
Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who sacrifices wins for the bigger picture.
Honestly, sometimes when I have plays on Dabble, I also am rooting against myself in my bracket, to be honest. I'm willing to I'm honestly willing to sacrifice my bracket for a lineup.
So you just have your eyes on the prize no matter what's going on pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's wronger for longer and it's also just being right in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I like.
Yeah. So so everything you just said, basically throw it out the window.
Uh, well, sometimes you look at your bracket again a couple days after filling out and you go, I don't know why I did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do instead? I'm gonna get on Dabble. I'm gonna root for some players on the team that I want to lose.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And
That is
that's
okay.
that's how you win. That's how you win in every direction,
That
actually.
is actually that's I really like that. I really like that. You know what I
Thank you.
really don't like? And this is we'll close it
What?
out with this. And I never thought about this until last night. So I was watching the UConn UCLA game. I actually
You
needed
see?
LA.
Yeah.
um, I actually needed. I have UConn in my bracket. I needed UConn to win, so I'm very happy.
hmm
I'm rooting against UCLA, but UCLA's coach, suit wearing psycho, number one, suit wearing psycho, another one, but he
hmm
got a technical foul for like sarcastically clapping at the ref, maybe. Like no one really
Yeah.
knows how it happened, but then the commentator during the game was like, the ref should be interviewed after the games to basically give us a breakdown in their thoughts on like those plays like that. Like that technical foul, like why did it happen? And I said, "Oh my goodness. This should be happening in every single sport. The refs should have a post-game interview that are televised just like the players and coaches do because they need to explain themselves."
This is such a tough take because
I
there's so many
knew
times.
you're such a team ref girl. I
No,
knew it.
no, no. Listen, there's so many times where the ref calls something, I say, "What was that?" And the commentators go, "What was that?" And everyone clearly saw something else. But if you get into making the refs explain everything that they do, they're not gonna, it's gonna, you can't do that to them. They need to be like a protected space so they can feel free to call
No.
what they want to call.
No.
And it's part of the game as well, okay? It's a human sport, okay? Called by humans, called by refs. They have the power in the game to make those calls, and that is part of the game. There's no such thing as reffing a perfect game, and that is just part of it. And if we start questioning them now, it's not going to end anywhere. And then all of a sudden, we have AI reffing the game, and it's just weird.
No, don't bring in AI. No robots. No robots.
Also, I know you've been saved so many times by a ref calling something for one of your teams, probably, that was just absolute crap.
No.
So
I'm always on the other
100%.
side of it.
Okay, next time it happens to you, you're gonna go, I'm really glad they don't have to explain themselves.
Well, it doesn't
I'm really
matter.
glad they can't review a call.
The call was made. So like it's they can't go back and say, "Oh, we got to redo this because,
So
I made
then,
the wrong decision." It's happened a gazillion times, but they need to be held responsible. They need to be put in front of a camera and they need to explain themselves. Like why
but what do you want them to do? Read the rule book to you? That's all.
No,
Why
it's
did
just
you
like,
call
"Hey,
this?
why did you
Because
call that tech on UCLA's head coach?" And you can't just be like, "Oh, he was sarcastically clapping at me." Like you're a grown man. Grow up. Can't just
I
tech
mean, but if the
somebody.
ref, if there's a rule, like if you can't just disrespect the refs, I, I don't think that this was actually that disrespectful. But it's the refs. It's up to the refs' judgment to make that call.
Yeah, I mean, it was a game-changing moment, and there's a few other moments in St. John's and Kansas game where the ball was clearly hit out of one of
hmm
the St. John's guards' hands, went back court, then they called backcourt violation. I was like, if explain yourself on camera in front of millions of people. And it would I mean if these networks want to go viral post game, this would go viral post game every single game. This would the ratings
Yeah, but
I mean, now I'm talking ratings, now I'm talking networks. Like this is this is a bigger picture.
well, you know
People
what you're gonna get? You're gonna get refs having to admit that they made the wrong call, and then everyone's gonna go, well, then the game is unfair. It's like you can't quite like you just have to go with the call because it's part of the game.
these refs, they think
And
they're untouchable. They think they're above the law.
until you've refed a game, I don't wanna hear it,
I don't
you
want to be a
know?
ref. These guys wanted to be refs. This is what they love.
Well, I think you're a little harsh on them sometimes. It's the worst
Sometimes I
job in the
am.
world.
Yeah,
But
sometimes I am
and
harsh, but I'm just a
I'm,
passionate fan.
I've hated a lot of refs in my day as an athlete, but that's just part of the game.
It is part of the game, but I just think they need to answer the call sometimes. Close us out, Paige.
Oh my gosh. We have such a big week of basketball coming up. Baseball as well. There is so many things to be excited for. The weather's getting nicer. People seem a little bit happier. Basketball is here. The NBA is here. Everything, you know what? Everything is just here. And dress up nice this weekend. Put a suit on, put a three-piece suit on, and have some fun. It's not even close to the weekend yet, but that's where my head's at.
Yep, I love that you're thinking about the weekend. Don't wear a three
Mhm.
piece suit. Download Dabble, get $10 for free when you sign up. No deposit necessary. Don't wear a three piece suit. Everybody, we'll see you on Thursday.